Hello everyone. Today we are going to study circulatory system of cockroach. Okay. Priorly we have studied digestive system. So you'll find the link over here above. Okay. Now in circulatory system of cockroach, we are going to discuss everything in detail. But first we'll start with the bifurcation. Okay. Your circulatory system of cockroach is basically an open circulatory system. Technically, there are two types of circulatory system. One is open, another one is closed. Closed meaning the one that we have in our body, where there are blood vessels and the blood is flowing through the blood vessels. But open circulatory system is the one where there are no much blood vessels. The fluid or the blood is released into a sac and then it is brought back into the heart. So there is no blood vessel over here. The blood in the cockroach is called as a hemolymph. Unlike the color of human blood, which is red, this hemolymph is colorless to turbid. Okay. And they have, like we have RBCs, we have leukocytes, right? Similarly, even cockroach has got 7 types of hemocytes. Now, hemocytes means what? Blood cells. But because the blood is called hemolymph, that's why hemocyte. Okay. Another thing that is present in the blood of the cockroach is plasma. So you can see the mimicking features. Even humans have got cells, blood cells, and plasma present in our system. So do the cockroach. Okay. Now the plasma again has got water, nutrients, and uric acid. Now why uric acid? Because cockroach is uricotelic. It does not excrete urea like we do. It excretes out uric acid. So there are 3 types of nitrogenous waste that can be excreted. Ammonia, okay, these organisms are called aminotelic. Okay, next one is uric acid, so uricotelic, and another one is urea, so ureatelic. Okay, now these organisms like cockroaches and insects, they are primarily excreting out uric acid, okay, which require very less amount of water for excretion. That's the reason why. Another part of this circulatory system is the heart and dorsal aorta. Okay, the heart of the cockroach is 13 chambered. Let's see. These small bulges that you see, these are the heart chambers. So unlike our heart, which is situated in one upper side of the body, okay, as an organ, cockroach does not have such a kind of an organ. It has rather chambers of the heart. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. 13 chambered heart. And there are muscles which help in the contraction and relaxation of the heart. These muscles, which look like triangular papillae, are called alary muscles. Okay. The third part of the circulatory system is hemocoel. Hemo refers to blood. Coel refers to cavity. Anytime you see the term COEL, it means cavity. Now, the body cavity of the cockroach is divided by 2 diaphragms. We are going to look at the diaphragms in the upcoming slide. They are ventral and dorsal diaphragms, and that divides the entire body cavity into 3 sinuses where the blood is going to flow into. I told you that there are no as such blood vessels connecting each part of the cockroach to the heart. So blood would be flowing into cavities or sacs. What 3 types of cavities or sacs we'll be studying in the next slide. And these sacs are divided by 2 positioning diaphragms, ventral and dorsal. Let's look at it. Okay. So this is how particularly structure of cockroach looks like. Okay. Now, with respect to this, you'll understand one thing, that there are 2 diaphragms, ventral and dorsal. You can see them named dorsal diaphragm, ventral diaphragm. Right. So these are 2 partitioning systems of the cockroach. Okay. Ventral diaphragm is just above the nerve cord. Can you see over here? This is a nerve cord, nervous system connector. Just above that, there is a partitioning system called as ventral diaphragm. Dorsal is basically just below the chambers of the heart. So you can see chambers of the heart. And just below that, there is a partitioning called as dorsal diaphragm. So on the dorsal side means what? Generally in insects or any organism which walks on four, okay, four or more, what happens is the part facing the sun becomes the dorsal, or back of the head becomes the dorsal, and opposite to that becomes the ventral. So this is the back region of the cockroach, which has heart chambers, and there is the dorsal diaphragm. On the front side of the cockroach, you are going to have nerve cord, and there is going to be ventral diaphragm. These dorsal diaphragms are going to give rise to 12 pairs of alary muscles. Alary muscles are the ones that we just saw in the previous slide, and we'll be looking at them in detail in the upcoming slides as well. Okay, so there are 2 thoracic and 10 abdominal. We'll be looking at them. So see, nerve cord, ventral side, we have ventral diaphragm. Chambers of heart, dorsal side, dorsal diaphragm. Now, these diaphragms, see, dorsal diaphragm and ventral diaphragm, they are going to divide the body cavity of the cockroach into 3 cavities or sacs. They are pericardial sinus, visceral sinus, perineural sinus. Sinus is a cavity or a sac. Okay. So diaphragms are dividing the body into 3 sinuses: cardial, visceral, neural. See, with the term itself, you'll understand which or what place the particular sinus is going to be present. Pericardial sinus is going to be on the dorsal side. So look over here. Dorsal diaphragm, just above it, there would be pericardial sinus. Okay, so it's a cardial means heart, right? So it's in the section of the heart. Perineural sinus is going to be in the ventral section. So ventral diaphragm is going to divide out the perineural sinus. And neural itself gives you the idea. It is going to be on the side of the nerve cord. Okay. And then between the dorsal and ventral diaphragm, you're going to have a sac-like structure which is called as visceral sinus. Now, visceral sinus is the largest, where gut and other organs of the cockroach are going to be present. Let's look at this in this diagram. Nerve cord, ventral diaphragm, perineural sinus. Chambers of heart, dorsal diaphragm, you have got what? You have got pericardial sinus. And in between both of them, you have perivisceral sinus, where most of the organs and important systems are going to be present. Okay. The largest one is perivisceral. Now let's see at the heart of the cockroach. Heart is 13 chambered, and it ranges from the first thoracic chamber. So the body of the cockroach is divided in such a way that there is head, thorax, and abdomen. So there is 1 head, 3 thoracic segments, and 10 abdominal segments. Okay. So in the first thoracic segment, the heart chamber is going to start, and it ranges all the way down to the 9th abdominal segment. In the thoracic region itself, there are 3 chambers of heart, whereas in the abdominal segments or abdominal region, there are 10 chambers of heart. So 3 chambers in thoracic part, 10 chambers in abdominal part. Together they constitute 13 chambered heart. Okay. On the sides of this heart, okay, there are going to be small openings. We'll be seeing them in the next slide. These openings are called as ostia, okay, or ostium. Ostia are what? They are lip-like walls, and they allow the blood to flow into heart from sinuses. For this, we'll have to refer to the other slide. See this. These are the chambers of the heart. Like humans have auricles, that is atria and ventricles. Similarly, heart of the cockroach also has auricle and ventricle. Okay. The auricle is going to be present in the lateral side, whereas ventricles are going to be at the top notch. Okay. So see over here, there are two ways in which the heart is going to pump blood. Okay. First, as in human heart also, the vena cavas bring in the blood, right? So some or the other way, the blood needs to enter the heart of the cockroach, right? For entering the heart of the cockroach, the auricular valves are going to open up. Okay, so when the auricles open up, you can see small spaces created. This is nothing but ostial lining. Okay, so this small space is connected. Now this space allows the inflow of blood into the heart chamber. Okay, so there are 13 chambers. All the 13 chamber auricles are going to open up. So little by little, all the blood from the hemocoel is going to flow into the heart chambers. You can see that the chamber needs to be filled. That's why ventricles are closed. Just like in our body also, if you have studied cardiac system or heartbeat system, you might see there are something called as auricular systole, ventricular diastole, all these things. Similar concept is happening over here. Auricles open, blood comes in, ventricles are closed, so blood fills in the heart. After blood has filled in the heart chambers, what is going to happen? Auricular or the ostia are going to close down. So when they are closed, ventricles open up. Okay, when these ventricles open up, the blood that was present in the chamber starts flowing upwards towards the head. So what is happening? Initially, blood is flowing into the chambers and chambers are getting filled with the blood. Then ventricular valve opens up and the blood starts flowing in one direction to the head. Once it reaches the head, it is pumped down through the dorsal aorta and the head to all the sinuses of the body. So just pay attention. Sinus, from sinus, blood is coming into the chamber of the heart again. From chamber of the heart, the blood is going through dorsal aorta, going to the head and back to the sinus. So there is no direct blood vessel connecting the heart to any other part of the body, right? So all the parts of the body are present in three sinuses and blood is directly pumped into the sinus and collected from the sinus. If you have partially understood this particular representation, next slide would be a piece of cake. How does blood circulation occur in cockroach? Very simple flowchart. It would be helpful for you. Alary muscles are first going to contract. Now, always remember that if alary muscles and heart are to be considered, they are opposite of each other. So if one contracts, the other one relaxes. If the other one contracts, the previous one relaxes. So alary muscles are going to contract. Now, when they contract, what happens? Heart relaxes. So in this relaxed state, the ostia or the auricular valves are going to open up. Okay. When the ostia or the auricular valves open up, from the sinus, blood enters the chambers of the heart. Now, once the heart is filled in, okay, always remember, once the heart is filled in, the auricular valves or the ostias are going to close. That time the heart is going to contract. It is going to beat that blood up to the aorta and from the aorta to the head and then to the sinus. So see, alary muscles contract, heart relaxes, opens up, sinus, blood, heart. Alary muscles now are going to relax. So that causes the heart to contract. Ostia closes down. So now there is only one way for the blood to go. It goes from the chambers of the heart to the dorsal aorta to the head and finally pumped back into the sinus. This is how the blood circulation keeps on moving. Technically, there are three phases of the heart beat, or we can say blood circulation. First is the diastole of the heart, where heart is relaxing and alary muscles are contracting. In this relaxed condition, blood is moving into the heart. Second phase is systole or the contraction of the heart. Alveolar muscles have relaxed, osteas are closed off. Now the heart is going to contract and push the blood to the head. Okay. And the third one is diastasis, where the heart remains in an expanded state. So three phases of the heart and how the blood circulation occurs in cockroach. Many students consider this to be a difficult concept, but make sure you write down these as notes in your notebook and keep revising them. It's relatively easy. Compare the structure of any organism that you study in your 12th standard or 11th standard with your own body. Since you know a lot by now about your own body, comparative study with the other organism would help you remember things faster and clearer. I hope you have understood the following concept. Meet you next. Signing off. Bye.